Have you ever wondered what is the return on investment that you can make from a Google Ads campaign? If you're running a roofing or renovation business and wondering what is the maths behind a Google Ads search campaign, then this video might be useful to you. Hi, I'm Nick. I'm the founder of Bluelight. We are a Google Ads agency that works with roofing and renovation companies. I work with real businesses, real budgets, and real campaigns every single day, so I can tell you what works and what doesn't. Okay, let's get into it. If you want to find out what is the return on investment for Google Ads, you can head over to my website, and there you will find a calculator at the very bottom in the footer section. And in this calculator, it's called ROI calculator. If you click on it, it will take you to our projection app, which is very useful if you want to get a forecast on what will happen ahead of time. So let's start by plugging in some numbers and looking at the return that we can generate. If we start with a budget, for example, 5,000, then we know that this is the amount of money that we're going to give to Google in order to pay for our campaigns. Now, if you are a roofing business, for example, then the typical project, the typical roof is somewhere around $30,000. So we're going to plug in $30,000. Now, the cost per lead is an interesting one. In a previous video, I've shown you how you can forecast the cost per lead using the keywords planner, and in this video we're going to use the number that we get from the keyword planner and plug it into the ROI calculator to understand what kind of return we can make. So $100 is actually a really good starting point for a cost per lead estimation, so we're going to keep that. And the close rate is probably the trickiest number to forecast, because the close rate is something that really only you as the business owner knows. So what we're talking about here on the close rate is of 10 leads that come through to your business, 10 phone calls, 10 emails, how many of those leads turn into a customer? Now that is going to depend on 4 different things. Number one, how serious is the customer about their problem? If it's if they have a leaky roof, they're pretty serious because there's water coming down from their ceiling. If they're just looking for a roof upgrade, that might be something they want to do in the future, but not right now. Number 2, what's their timeline? Is this a short term, let's get it done this week, or is it a longer term, let's get it done this year sort of inquiry? Number 3, how does your offer stand out versus your competition? That's pricing, that's offer, that's guarantees, those sort of things. And number 4, of course, comes down to your salesmanship skills. So how good are you on the phone in fielding those inquiries and selling your product or your service to the customer? So if you have a CRM, you will be able to get that metric from your CRM directly. A typical close rate would be sitting somewhere around 25%, which means you close 1 out of 4 inquiries. If we take 10%, that would be a very conservative estimate. We say out of 10 leads, you will only close 1. But it helps to use conservative estimations at the very beginning, and especially when we're doing forecasting. And so if we plug all these numbers in, we're left with one final one, that is the margin. So obviously the revenue that you generate from a roof, say it's a $30,000 roof, typically 50% is going to be cost of materials, and then another 20% might be your staff, and then you'll get 30% as your gross profit margin. Okay, so if we plug these numbers in, what we'll get is $150,000 in revenue generated, and $5,000 is your spent, which is a pretty good investment. Now, if we scroll down or read down here or down here, we can see how this actually breaks down. So if you invest $5,000 into ads and you pay $100 per lead, then you will generate 50 leads. Now, from those 50 leads, we convert 10%, which means we get 5 jobs times 30,000 in revenue. So 5 jobs generated from 50 leads with a 10% close rate is $150,000 in revenue. And then to calculate the gross profit, we deduct the investment, which is 5,000. So 145 is what goes into your company after your Google Ads fee is paid. Now, if we carry on, we can also use the profit switch where we calculate the gross profit. So if we flick that switch, we're going to get 45. So $45,000 is the actual gross profit if we deduct your cost of materials, right? So $45,000, $5,000 spent, $45,000 in profit generated. We take 45, deduct the 5,000, you get 40,000 in gross profit left over. Cool. So that gives you a rough idea around what you can expect, and you can use this calculator to play with these numbers. So for example, we might leave the profit switched on, but we might say, hey, we're actually running ads in a very competitive area, so our cost per lead is going to be at least 150 per lead. And so if we calculate this, we will see that you will only generate $100,000 in revenue, and you will only make $30,000 in profit, because you will only get 3 jobs, because you will only get 33 leads. If we say it's very competitive and you're paying $200 per lead, then your profit drops to $22,000. And obviously, if we adjust the close rate, say we're doing 22,000 in gross profit and we have a close, but we close 2 out of 10, then our profit doubles. Cool. So this is a very easy way for you to forecast and get an idea on what kind of returns you can expect on your campaigns. I hope this video is useful to you. If it is, please subscribe to this channel, leave a comment, and stay tuned for more videos. Have a great day.